welcome to the Geriatric Millennials. This is Jayme.
And this is Beth.
And we're two oldish, youngish ladies talking all about Beth today. I'm so excited because it's Beth's birthday month. And
I'm celebrating.
I hope so.
Yeah. I'm literally celebrating at your house.
I know. That's true. That's true. And oh my gosh. So fun. What a great reason to celebrate. And I cannot wait to ask you all of these questions because we did All About Me like a long time ago.
Well, you're significantly older.
Oh, shoot. Not really, but it feels like it's been a long time and I've been wanting to do this. Mm-hmm. And so now's the time. I'm going to learn so much
nervous
about you. You are? Why?
Because I like to be in control.
Oh,
I like
you
to
don't know
I don't know what the questions are.
Hey, that was the boat I was in last time. And I'm the one that needs all the time to think and process and have all these gaps that you have to edit out.
Yes.
Because I'm like thinking or whatever. But anyways, okay, now it's your turn. Yay. Okay. So this is going to be a treat. Everyone listening, getting to know this lovely lady. So let's start off with, can you just tell us, like, where did you grow up?
I grew up here, which is shocking. So I grew up in Eastern Washington. I was born and raised in the same house, not in the same house.
Were you born at home?
I was born at home. My mother birthed me on the dining room table. No.
Good grief.
But I was like, they brought me home from the hospital.
Okay, yeah.
And I stayed in that house until I was 18. And then when I moved back after college, I was there. That was our family. Like we had a legit family home.
Yeah.
And I lived in this area that was not super diverse, but our neighborhood was super diverse. Like it was kind of wild because my mom is white, my dad is black. And so that was already a controversy in the early 80s in our community.
Were you in Kennewick or which city?
I was in Kennewick.
Okay.
So, and it was not, at the time, where we lived, the Tri-Cities was not super, it was pretty segregated still.
Yeah.
But we had a very diverse neighborhood, which was kind of surprising. It was not the norm. And I lived there and here forever.
Okay. So talk about your, how would you describe your childhood?
It was fine-ish.
Fine-ish.
Yeah. Okay. It was we weren't destitute, but my parents they were balling. And then the recession in the 80s hit and they were not. And so they kind of almost lost everything. So I went from being
that's hard.
Yeah. I went from being in private school and all of that to not. And to I remember the shift from having and to not to government cheese basically, which was a big shift. But overall, it was okay. I was an 80s kid. So it was just I was in daycare. Both my parents worked. I was a latchkey kid. Overall, it was a positive experience, but it definitely came with some struggles and some strife.
Kidding. And you have one brother,
I have one little brother. Okay. We're 6 years apart. So it's almost two only children. He was raised by very different parents.
Interesting.
Yes. And by the time it mattered, our family had recovered financially and we weren't ever well off. We were very much the Connors on Roseanne, that. Okay. I very much identify with them because it was kind of working class family. But by the time he was, ready to have things, it was there was money to be had.
He could actually have it.
Yes. Where I was can I please take tap dancing classes? And the best we can do is Parks and Rec. Good luck, kid.
Yeah. Okay. And so what about when you were a teenager? What kind of a teenager were you?
I don't I feel I've blocked a lot of it out, which is not a good sign. I was very responsible.
Okay. So did you have a crew, a crowd that you hung out with, a stereotypical crowd at school?
Yeah. Something, I wasn't a mean girl.
What?
I was well known enough. And I was very into the pep rally type of person, helping to put stuff on and choreographing routines for little skits and stuff.
Because you were a dancer.
Because I was a dancer. I was friends with everybody though. I rolled with the drama kids. I rolled with everybody a little bit. So kind of cool. What I'm in now, a million little groups, none of which really converge.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. That's cool. So what dreams did you have? When you were a kid, what did you want to be? What did you dream about?
I always wanted to open. So I had two big ones. When I was really young, I wanted to open. Actually, I had many. I really wanted to be in the arts. That's where it came from. I just really loved arts. I like performing, all of that. I wanted to be on Kids Incorporated when I was a kid, or Mickey Mouse Club. I love singing and dancing and all those things. That was not an opportunity in Eastern Washington where we were at. It just did not happen for me, clearly. But now we have a podcast. As I got older, I wanted to open like up my own line of like kind of the McDonald's of dance studios. I thought that would be really fun. And then as I got older, I became like obsessed with sex and relationships. So I wanted to be a sex therapist, like so much so that like my best friend, her mom worked in our guidance counselor's office, and she has retold this story to me a few times. So this is how I know it. I guess I walked into there one day, and my friend and I were visiting her mom during school hours. And she's like, "Oh, Beth, what are you thinking about being when you grow up?" I'm like, "A sex therapist." Like completely like so serious. Much. Like I really wanted to pursue that. Like I just thought it would have been so interesting, and that's really what I wanted to do.
Okay, so but then what did you end up doing?
I ended up going to school for business.
Okay.
I went to school for arts and media management in Chicago. And so basically I wanted to be a casting director, and I was really excited to get into the film.
Is casting director the one who like picks the people that are going to act the roles? Okay.
Yeah, they find the people. And I liked that because I always like to figure out like who can tell the story the best. And I just had such a passion for it. And I think I would have been a fabulous producer. But when I was in college, I started working at a retail store, and I just really liked it. And then I just shifted. I was like, oh, maybe I'll open a retail store. And so then I kind of went down a different path, and I ended up moving back home and opening retail and whatnot. And I always wonder a little bit like, what if I would have just like not gotten distracted and given the performing arts, a real go? But
yeah,
c'est la vie. We're here now.
Yeah. And then you got involved in doing
youth
like
ministry.
Yeah. You were like a youth minister for a long time.
Yeah. Because I wanted to have, I wanted to teach a class to young girls about sex and their bodies and stuff, but in like a not gross way, back to being a sex therapist. And I had a friend in ministry, and they were like, yeah, come do it. Like, I feel like any youth ministers, like they hear that you want to do any volunteering and they will jump on that. Like, what? You'll volunteer? Sure. Like, we'll take you. So I started doing that. And I mean, I have a knack for working with young people. So it just spiraled into like a 15-year career with like multiple churches and international ministry and a whole thing.
Okay. So then what is your job now though? Because you're not doing that anymore either.
No, I just am an administrator. Like I shouldn't say it's a very important role that is undervalued. But yeah, I work for, a scientific facility that does a lot of research, and I help, keep the scientists from getting in trouble and in line and following all the rules. And I learn a lot about, which is interesting because I always loved science. I was not good at like the like chemistry and math side of science, but I loved biology. I think that's why I wanted to be a sex health worker, not worker, a sex health educator,
a sex worker.
Either way, it could have gone. I always said had it been a little bit different. I really was like thinking about like, oh, I could have been a stripper. I'd been happy.
Had you not like gotten sucked into like
youth ministry and no joke.
Like, yeah.
Because when I was in high school, like I was it wasn't like I was out there like on a pole or anything like that, but I was like a lot more like interested in like pursuing like just being more free. Yeah. And then I started hanging out with all these LDS kids, and that just got like kaboosh. Yeah. Like it was done.
There's a really cool pole dancing place studio in Richland if you want to ever revisit.
I have thought about it, but I'm just like I'm still getting over the trauma of being a youth minister. So like the thought of like shaking my body still feels a little bit inappropriate.
I know, but I think you'd be free. Yeah. I think you would like that feeling of just being
I'm sure I would love it too.
Not restricted
and the next time you see me, I'm like, guess what I have now, Jayme? An OF.
Wait, what's that?
OnlyFans.
Oh yeah. Took me a second. Okay, so what does your morning routine look like?
It is horrific. I wake up at 4:30 every morning without prompt.
Why?
It's my natural alarm clock.
What?
It's awful. So I usually wake up at 4:30. I go get one of my cats, Bubba. He sleeps in a different room. And so I go get him and we do morning snuggles. I lay around and I watch TikToks or I look at Reddit and read the news for like an hour or so because it's 4:30 in the morning. And then I get up and do like my skincare routine. I'm a night shower, just so people know, like I can't do showers in the morning because I barely can function in the morning.
Okay.
Because I've been up since 4:30.
Yeah.
And I do like a pretty a pretty good skincare routine. Like I have a lot of
your skin
steps.
looks amazing.
Well, that's you're at a distance and maybe need some glasses.
No,
like
don't say that. It's true.
No, it's like, as you get older, you're just like, oh my gosh, I need to do some resurfacing.
I know. I still need to do some like retinol or something on my face. I don't know.
I know. Well, I don't mean like, oh, I know, Jayme. Yeah,
it's true though. I do.
But it's like I need to do more. And then I've realized recently that I shouldn't do breakfast in the morning. Like I'm always trying to eat before work. And I'm like, I need to like ease into my day more.
And you're not really
that anybody
hungry?
knows that. Yeah, but I'm shoveling food in because I'm so afraid I'm not going to be able to like get anything nutritious in at work. And anyway, nobody needs to know that. And then on my drive into work, just so people know, I'm a podcast addict. So I'm always listening to podcasts.
Oh.
Yeah. Sometimes our own. Yeah.
So, okay. So that's your morning routine. And I'm curious, like, so you work like kind of like a 9 to 5 type schedule. So what does like your perfect day off look like if you're not going to work?
That's really hard. Like in my fantasy, I am.
Yes. How about a fantasy and a reality?
Okay. The fantasy would be like getting up, doing a great workout, a meditation, going for a walk at some point, snuggling cats, hanging out with friends, and just like, I love to have a meal with friends. That's my favorite thing to do. And then just like easing into the day, maybe reading a little bit, taking a little nap on a fall crisp day. Just like really basic. I'm a homebody, and I'm around people all the time. And if you meet me, you would probably think I like people. I do not. And so it's like, my battery gets drained really fast when I'm around people. So, it's just weird. It's just, I need a lot of recoup time after hanging out. But the perfect day would just be like just an easy day. I like easy. I like simple. I like uncomplicated. The reality is I wake up and I'm like, oh, I didn't make a plan. And then I get like stuck and then I don't do anything. And I get frustrated because I haven't made a plan. And then I start to plan and it's like too late in the day. Because for me, like on a day off, if I start getting started on my day at 11, I feel like the day's already over.
It's wasted. Okay.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Oh, yeah. So if you don't make a plan, you're kind of frustrated and you're like, wah, wah. Okay. So when, not just on those days, but like when you feel like you want to give up, like what keeps you going?
Nothing. My cats.
Your cats.
Like when I feel like I want to give up on life.
I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah. That's often. I'm just like, what am I doing here? This is stupid.
So what keeps you going?
And I mean, I think just the pure will to just like go forward. For the most part, I look around and I'm like, what is all of this? Like I've very much so been open about my struggles with like mental health and all of that. Like my brain chemistry is all just jacked up. And most of the time it's like, I'm just mid, like, it's just very like, most of my life is just comes in beige. And so to get like to a place where I'm like super excited or any of that is hard. So most days I'm just getting through the days. I'm just doing step A to B to C just to like make it through. And I don't mean this in a way that's like, it's so hard. I'm not like in a deep depression or anything. It's just nothing is that exciting. And I used to be that I would just shake stuff up, right? I would change jobs every 5 years, or I just like, I'm done with this and I would just move. That's just not quite the reality for my life anymore. So trying to figure out where those moments are is a little bit been tricky. But yeah, I just keep going for this sole purpose of like, well, today's not the day. So
yeah. Okay. So if you could relive one moment in your life, what would it be?
That's a great question. I probably would spend a day with like my dad or like my grandma or someone that loved me immensely and I loved them. I mean, there's been lots of great moments in my life. I forget many of them. Yeah. Because like,
is there one that comes to mind? Like, oh, that was such a great moment. I want to relive it.
No, Jayme, because I live in the negative. Like where you forget the negative, I just remember the bad stuff. So I think there's been a lot of good moments.
Think of a good moment.
There's been a lot of good moments where I've been able to support people or like tell people they're loved and different things like that. It's hard because a lot of my moments are based in service to others, which makes me kind of sound like a jerk now, but it's just like, I wish I had more moments in service to me. And so, there's few and far between of moments that weren't directly related to like lifting someone else up.
Yeah. I have a lot more questions.
Yes. Hit it. Open book.
Okay. And some of these questions are just more like surfacey, like rapid, like just quick kind of answer, but I'm just curious. Okay. So, and I think I know the answer to this question, but I could be wrong. So I know you like movies.
Yes.
You're into movies. So what movie can you quote by heart?
I can do Goonies pretty accurately. Not as good as I used to be. That one's pretty high up there. I would have to say that Vanderpump Rules. The last season, the last 3 reunion episodes, I watch those on repeat all the time. So there's a lot of those lines come up in my head.
That's so interesting to me that it's like, I think I still haven't watched. I need to watch something like that because it's not like a story, right? It's
reality.
It's
reality.
It is stories.
It's people. They're real life stories.
Yeah.
Well, as much as they're produced. Yeah.
Right. That's so interesting. Okay. That's so cool. Okay. What is your ultimate movie snack?
I used to always do Sour Patch Kids, but now not so much. I like a Twizzler. I like a Twizzler nib. Jayme and I went to the movies recently and I got popcorn for the first time because we never did that as kids. And so that was kind of exciting to get movie popcorn.
What do you mean? Wait. That was your first time ever getting popcorn at the movies?
No, not ever. But
okay, but in a long time.
But like when I was growing up, I never did it. And so then as I got money to do it, I didn't see the value in getting movie snacks. Like you bring something in or you don't get anything. And so having like actual movie popcorn and like was kind of like a revelation in my life.
I love that. Okay. What is on your bucket list?
This is what I ask myself all the time because my bucket, this is where I struggle because my bucket list, a lot of the stuff that I wanted to do early on, I did just in different formats, right? Like I wanted to produce dances and musical numbers and things like that. At one of my churches, it was, they were very big on performance for the students. So we did like Easter shows and Christmas shows and Mother's Day shows. And so that was super fun. And I really liked that. I wanted to, be a sex educator. And so I did that a little bit through the church. Very awkward, but it happened. I wanted to be a teacher for a long time. I did that through youth ministry and teaching. Okay, don't come at me. I know that it's a difference between a certified teacher, but just the act of guiding students and stuff. So my bucket list now is like figuring out what do I want in this next phase of life.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's some places I want to travel. Like I always talk about going to Sedona and Salem and New Zealand, and I want to go to Scotland. Like that's all cool. But to me, that's just like kind of trivial in life. Like I'm trying to figure out what do I want my legacy to be? And I don't know yet.
Okay. Yeah, that's totally fine. What are you passionate about?
Again, life is beige. So there's not a lot. I like doing podcasts. Like I think that that's fun. I enjoy trying to figure things out. So like we're just experimenting now with like video podcasting and whatever. And so just figuring out the ins and outs and like trying to master it as much as I'll ever be able to master it, right? Without being a true professional. That's fine. I feel like I'm not a very passionate person. Like whatever I'm doing, I'm into at that time and then I'm not.
I feel like there could be things maybe that you wouldn't consider you're passionate about, but like you know a lot about. And I feel like for most of like you've stayed pretty up to date as far as like technology and stuff like that. And so would you say that? Would you consider that maybe a passion? Like, no, not at all.
No,
okay.
I when I like something, I tend to figure out a way to be decent at it, right? Not great, but decent. So it gives the appearance, especially for people that, don't stay up to date on something, that I'm better than I am because like, oh, you know so much, and it's like, well, no, but like it's whatever. So yeah, I think it's amazing when people have like just like intense passion in their life to like go out and like create and all of these things. And sometimes I get into that mode. Like when I was opening up my stationery store, I was so passionate about it and I would work hours and hours on it. I had this vision for it and everything. And then, right at the cusp of opening it, COVID happened. So it was just like, and that all kind of went away. And just there's just a lot of things in my life where I've been passionate about something and then I can't get it to like its full fruition. And so it's kind of like, how many times do I need to rally, or is it just me? Is it just, it's just not meant to be? Or is it just like, I'm not doing the things that I really need to be doing to make it successful. So we'll see.
So is there a skill? What is one skill that you wish that you could just like instantly have?
Oh, language. I love languages because
yeah.
it's connection to people. And I've tried so many times to learn different languages. It just doesn't click in my head, you know? And I think that it's amazing when people are able to make it work. I just haven't been able to yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have any hobbies?
I mean, kind of. I mean, I'm a millennial. So, I mean, the oldest kind of millennial, but a millennial nonetheless. And I think it's hard because for a while, I feel like if we've been taught to like hustle and monetize. And so a lot of my hobbies I'll take on, instantly my brain goes to like, how can we monetize? And so it makes the hobby not so fun. But I was really into crochet for a while.
Yeah. And
like,
you are a really good crocheter. Like it was like okay, maybe it wasn't instant, but it appeared
it was a little bit. Yeah.
You just like whipped stuff out. And I was like, wait, what? How did you do that? And it's like so good. Like very well done.
It's weird. Like when I get on a fixation on something, I'm like, I'm all in, and then it'll go away. And then sometimes it comes back.
Do you do like cross stitch or something too?
I do embroidery.
Oh, okay.
Which I have some nice pieces, like, and then it went away.
And you were going to show me that stuff, which you haven't yet. That's a good reminder.
Yeah,
I still want to see it.
Well, yeah,
I still want to see it.
That's great. Yeah, like I have a cart by my couch that at night I could crochet and embroidery, and it's been sitting there stagnant for like over a year. Like haven't done anything. So.
Okay, so aside from necessities, what is one thing that you could not go a day without?
My phone. I've tried.
And you don't feel like it's a necessity?
I mean, is it?
I don't know.
I don't feel like it is. Like
probably not.
If you don't eat or drink water for a few days, you'll have some complications in your life. If you get off your phone and I'm speaking specifically to like the apps, like I don't know, I every once in a while I'm like, I need to give up TikTok. I need to give up social media for a minute. I need to let it go. And it does not last. I can't do it. Like I won't say I'm addicted, but then people are like, yes, you are. You can't give it up. Like, okay, if I had to give it up tomorrow, I could. It's just like, it feels like the day-to-day, monotony of life. It's hard to be like, okay, I'm not going to do TikTok tonight. Cool. What are you going to do?
Yeah.
You're tired. You're not going to go do a hobby or anything tonight.
Yeah.
Like, I love the fact that you have a lot of hobbies. You have a lot of passions. You're passionate about dance and not canoeing, but rowing and all the different things.
Not that either.
Paddleboarding. What is it called again? No.
Paddling.
Rigger.
Paddling.
That's what it's called?
Yes.
With an
outrigger
on-rigger.
canoe.
Okay,
outrigger.
There we go. But it's just like, I try to get excited about that stuff and it just doesn't.
It's like your hobbies are like handiwork hobbies.
Handiwork. And a lot of times too, it's like, oh, I'm going to go build us a website for our podcast.
I was going to say
it's
also
stuff like
technical stuff.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. And you're so good at that kind of stuff. So
and I'll spend hours on it. Like it's not a passion. Like I don't feel passionate about it, but I get intrigued. So it's like if
you spend hours and nobody's paying you to do that, I would say that's a passion.
Well, I mean, I don't think that's passion because I'm like hating it as I'm trying to figure the thing out.
But you're determined though. You stick with it.
I think determination is not the same as passion, at least in my book.
Okay.
Passion is a little bit more like enjoyable.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I maybe should have rephrased my question for you, but
what am I determined about? Everything.
Yeah. What do you enjoy spending money on?
I was just thinking about this because like, I spend money on dumb stuff all the time, like little not trinkets. I don't even buy a lot of trinkets. I spend too much money on books for sure. I spend too much on streaming probably, but I'll just buy random crap. Like we needed a light. So we're trying, like, I love doing the podcast. The video podcast is a little bit like a new thing for us.
Yeah.
I'm always like, it needs to be great. And Jamie's like, just put it out. Like, just get it done. But like, I needed to get a light for us because it's like, okay, lighting's pretty important. So it's like, I did a lot of research on the lighting and I paid a lot for a nice light. And it's like, I'm desperate to get us nice cameras. And it's like, that kind of stuff I'll spend money on, like, but I won't spend money on like, I don't know. I don't buy a lot of expensive things. I don't wear any jewelry. Like, like I always think it's funny. Like I have a lot of jewelry that I love, but I never reach for jewelry. So like you'll never see me in jewelry, like any rings, necklaces, earrings, nothing, never wear jewelry.
Interesting. Oh my gosh, I love jewelry so much.
I know. And it's such a fun way to spruce things up, but I'm like, I can't even. I like to buy beauty products and stuff, but I don't spend an exorbitant amount of money. Yeah. I really like Good Molecules right now, which is a super cheap line, and I'm cool with it. I don't even know how it works, but I'm like, it's psychosomatic.
I love that Good Molecules thing you gave me.
Yeah.
And I used it.
Yeah.
So What about your cats? Do you like spending money on your cats?
I mean, kind of, but like they have everything.
Yeah, they do.
They have everything.
Here's a question. What's the most random thing that you have spent money on? Like,
I bought a tap dancing board during COVID and tap dance shoes.
I'm sorry I'm laughing, but I love that.
Because I always wanted to learn to tap dance as a kid. So I'm like, I'm going to teach myself. And I have a DVD from
Girl, have you tried it yet?
No, because I was like, I live in an apartment.
Who cares?
Because
that's
I don't
why you
want
got the thing.
I know. It's literally sitting in this room. Like I can't even
where?
It's behind the walking treadmill that I purchased on a mini whim too. So
the funniest one to me is the cat treadmill. Because when I walked in and I saw that and I was like, wow, because it's quite large.
Huge. I know. And I'm so annoyed now because I got the original one that people were getting. And now there's so many copycats that have a smaller footprint and are cuter and stuff. And I'm like, maybe I should get a new. I'm like, no. You're not upgrading your cat treadmill that one cat runs on once a month.
Yeah, probably not a great way to spend money.
I will drop money on sweaters at the loft. That's how you know I'm an old lady. There's a SNL skit about just having a boring sense of fashion, basically a safe fashion choice, and it basically was the loft. And I freaking love a V-neck, 2-neck sweater from the loft. I buy it in every color. As soon as I find a sweater that I like, you're gonna see me in every color.
Loft is pretty good quality too.
It's pretty good.
Because I've gotten some used stuff that's Loft brand and I'm like, somebody else already used this and it's still great and I've had it for years. So
I know. It's just, I wouldn't say it's fashion forward.
Okay, I just have a couple more. I know something that you enjoy is karaoke. At least you have in the past. Okay.
Yeah.
Good. What is your go-to karaoke song?
It changes.
Okay, top 3.
I like singing ballads. For sure, maybe some Alanis or I don't know, Adele's always kind of fun.
So you don't have a certain song that's kind of your go-to? You've got to.
Maybe Bootylicious.
Who sings that?
Destiny's Child.
Why'd you give me that look?
Or Say My Name by Destiny's Child. I'm thinking old school things. I don't know. I haven't done it in a long time. There's not usually. I used to love singing Jewel songs and Fiona Apple and different things like that. But yeah, there's not really a go-to. Okay. I like the songs that get the crowd going. I've sung Bohemian Rhapsody way too many times. But I've also surprised people by whipping out Limp Bizkit or something and then being like, ma'am, this is. Are you sure? I'm like, yeah, it's fine, guys.
That's good. Awesome. I love that. Okay, this is my last one.
Okay.
And this is maybe the most important question of all.
Okay.
If your cats could talk,
yeah,
what do you think they would say about you?
I think they would probably be like, she's a lot. I think they would say I'm very loving. So I'm secretly loving, right? I don't like people, but
But you love your cats.
No. Oh. I don't like people, but I love people.
Yeah.
Right? I don't like people, but I love them. And so even though sometimes I might not see it, I'm very caring and I'm very I think about how my actions and how what I'm doing affect people.
Yeah.
And I try to make sure, I always try to leave the situation better than I found it.
Yeah.
And I try to make sure that I'm not being told, I'll talk crap and all that stuff, but it's kind of the way you talk crap about in your family, right? Oh, they're being so annoying. But if someone else were to say it, you'd be like, no.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. So I don't know. My cats would probably also say she really is a great cook. Even though I'm just pouring foods out of packets for them because they don't know any better, but they get 4 different things every meal. And they probably she needs to get out more because she just likes to sit on the couch and watch her shows and play on the TikToks and, watch birds with us. And that is not a way for a human to live. So
it is, but not 100% of the time.
Yeah. So I don't know. They probably would just be like, oh, we like her. Okay. She's a little dumb at times, but we take care of her.
I don't think they'd say you're dumb.
No, to them, they would think I'm dumb.
Really?
I can't hunt for myself.
Oh,
and,
okay.
Because cats I read somewhere that cats look at you as another cat, and so kind of how they treat you is do they treat you like you're the mom cat or do they treat you like, oh, I have to protect this idiot? And my one cat treats me very sweet and gentle. And the other's I got to protect you because you're not going to be able to protect yourself.
Oh, I love that you have more than one cat now. It's because I really like your second cat.
I know. He's much easier to deal with than Fratelli.
I know. I'm still scared of her.
Mm-hmm. Same.
Same. Oh, thank you so much for answering all these questions. I had at least twice as many questions as that. So I think we're going to have to do this again.
Perfect.
So just heads up for that.
Love that. So yay.
Thank you.
Yay me.
Hey, this is Jayme from the Geriatric Millennials podcast. If you're enjoying our show, please take a minute to leave us a review because it would help us. And if you follow us on Instagram at the Geriatric Millennials or share an episode or two with your friend, you have a friend that you know would enjoy this podcast. So just share it with them. It helps us. And we so appreciate all of your continued support.